Teasel's Tudor Trivia!
Hi, welcome to Teasel's Tudor Trivia with a very excited and out of breath Teasel. She's just relaxing here, trying to get her breath back after having quite a bit of fun with Oreo, which involved really chasing Oreo. So yes, not a very good dog, are you? Now, as most of you know, Teasel wears what Americans would call diapers, or what we Brits call nappies. And I can actually show you. You've got your ducky one on today, haven't you? So she wears those, and that's because Teasel can't control her toileting. She's missing quite a few vertebrae and some of her spinal cord too, so she can't control her back legs very well, and she can't control any of her toileting. We manage her toileting by using reusable diapers or nappies, and she doesn't even seem to notice that they're on. Teasel's use of nappies inspired us, me and Teasel obviously, to look at what Tudor mothers used for their babies in the days before disposable nappies and these trendy, modern, nice, reusable ones. Now, in the Tudor period, they handled the baby's toileting by using what were known as tail clouts or piss clouts. Costume experts Jane Huggett and Ninya Mikhaila, whose books The Tudor Child and The Tudor Tailor I'd highly recommend, absolutely brilliant books on Tudor costume, they believe that this tail clout, this Tudor-style diaper, would have been made out of linen cloth, which would have been doubled and lined with a layer of soft rags or with an absorbent material such as sphagnum moss. Now, this was then fastened in place with pins. So very similar to perhaps what I used to do with terry toweling, putting it together with pins, but without, of course, the plastic overpants. Now, baby's underwear that was worn on top of this tail clout was similar to an adult's underwear in that it was a linen shirt, but it seems to have been a simple affair which was open all the way down the front and didn't have any fastenings. Now, I think Teasel and I will do another Teasel's Tudor Trivia on the clothing worn by Tudor babies, toddlers and young children, so do look out for that because I'm sure it's on our plan of things to do. But also thinking about these absorbent materials used for babies, what about women? This is something that often comes up when I mention nappies and underwear and that. How did women handle menstruation, or their courses as they were known then, their monthly courses in Tudor times? Well, the most common way seems to have been using rags. These were pieces of cloth that were bundled together and placed between the legs. These, of course, would soak up the blood and hopefully stop any stains. Another form of sanitary protection was the use of cotton or wool instead of cloth rags. Now, depending on a person's status and their access to material, how much they could buy, these rags may have had to have been washed and reused multiple times. Now, unfortunately, there is little evidence to suggest how these rags or the pieces of cotton and wool were held in place, although it has been suggested that women of that period wore some form of girdle or rough underwear, perhaps something like the sanitary belts that I remember seeing in chemists' shops when I was a child, that the sanitary pad hooked onto and then the belt held in place. Historian Tracy Borman, in her book The Private Lives of the Tudors, writes of how Elizabeth I's household accounts list dozens of long and short wallops of fine Holland cloth, and then also girdles of black jean silk garnished with buckles, hooks and eyes, whipped over with silk. So perhaps those were the sanitary belts to hold the wallops or rags in place. We just don't know, but it it does seem to make sense. So there you go, Tudor diapers or nappies and Tudor sanitary protection. Yes, Teasel's Tudor trivia, where Teasel just abandons me. That's how it is in our house. She is more interested in cat hunting. Well, thank you for bearing with me, and perhaps Teasel can join us for a longer time next time. Bye-bye.
Teasel's Tudor Trivia.
Use of cotton